Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our holiday fraud webinar. Thank you for joining us today. We have a lot of useful information that we are going to cover today, but before we jump in, I would like to take a moment and introduce our special guest today, Lionyelle Malveaux. She is our fraud specialist here at Neches Federal Credit Union. Thank you for joining us today, Lionyelle.
Thanks for having me, Megan.
All right, well, we will go ahead and get started. Lionyelle, I know that it's really important to us that we protect our members from fraudulent activity all year long, but whenever the holidays hit, people are shopping and they're ordering stuff online. I know that it really tends to rev up this time of year. So I'd really love to start with covering what are some of the general fraud threats and what are some of the threats that we see increase throughout the holiday season?
Sure. So one of the bigger things that we have that pop up are unsolicited offers. That would be anything that comes through your email, through text messaging, through phone calls. I know many of us don't answer those numbers that we don't know, but getting a text message or email, those are the newer ways that they're sending out these unsolicited offers. Anytime going to the gas pump, I know a lot of us like to try to just pay at the pump and do it super quick in and out. But keep in mind that we have to check those pumps for skimmers or scammers that could possibly read cards. Another thing that comes up is during this time, we have a lot of shopping that's going on. So it's a lot easier for fraudsters to get your information and then kind of hide those purchases in your holiday purchases. So as you're going through buying gifts and buying decorations and food and, for all these celebrations, keep an eye on those charges because sometimes they hide within your charges. Another thing would be Cash App. I know that's another big thing that everyone loves to use just because it's super easy, but we do have some fraud with it as well, and it increases during the holiday times. It's not a super protective way to send money if you're purchasing items from other people. It is very easy to have fraud pop up on your account that way. And obviously just being cautious of where you keep your debit card or your credit card, making sure that those numbers aren't stored in a ton of apps on your phone. Once again, convenience is great, but sometimes it can also invite fraud in.
Absolutely. And, based on the things that you just mentioned, it seems like, there's potential fraud everywhere, whether you're shopping in a store, you're shopping online, you're buying your gas at a gas station. I know when we talk about skimmers at a gas station, what is the best way to check for that? Do those tend to pop out? Is that something that's really noticeable, or do you have to jiggle on the slot where you insert your card? How do you check for that at a gas station?
So that's the first thing you're going to want to do. The space that you put your card in, you're going to want to jiggle that just a little bit. Obviously, if it starts falling off in your hand, do not put your card there. Another thing that gas stations are starting to do is putting just a little strip of tape across that shows that this is not being tampered with. It's like an anti-tamper tape, like theft tape. If that has been moved or removed and put back, it's very obvious when you see it that it's been taken off. Obviously, don't put your card in that either because it has been tampered with.
Right. And I know, like you said, Cash App is very popular right now. I know Venmo and PayPal is very popular too. And a lot of people even use things like Apple Pay. And I know that those are really convenient, especially whenever you are ordering multiple things at once. It's a lot easier to just click Apple Pay versus, having to type in your card information and your shipping information over and over and over again. But I really appreciate you informing our members of that, because that is important. If you happen to leave your phone somewhere or it gets stolen, if you have all of that card information saved on your phone, you are giving access to that information if somebody were to steal your phone or you accidentally leave your phone somewhere. So that is really important for our members to know. what are some of the ways that we can prevent fraudulent charges from happening on our debit and credit cards or on our account?
So one of the first big ways you can guard yourself is to guard your information. Make sure that you're keeping your phone secured, you're keeping your wallet, wherever you keep your debit card, credit card. If you write any login information down, make sure that you're being super careful about this information that you're just kind of leaving around. You don't want anyone that isn't authorized to be able to access that information. Secondly, another way is avoiding clicking links. I know we share links between one another. It's everyone does it. We send links like, "Hey, weren't you just talking about this? You should, look, check this out. Look at this." Um, Maybe instead of clicking on the link, going to the website and typing in the address on your own, because it's quite possible that that could be a scam website that's going to pick up your information. A third way could be if the website, when you get to the website, if it looks too good to be true, then it probably is. So if they're saying, hey, you can get this new toy that everyone's looking for, and it's only $19.99, that's probably too good to be true. There are no sales that good going on. So just want to obviously look at that website, make sure the spelling is correct. Hover over links and make sure what you're clicking on is actually where you want to go. And spelling is really important. It is possible to overlook things that look like it's spelled correctly, but it's actually bringing you somewhere else. Um, Another way would be debit card control. That is a great option that we have here at Neches, where you can turn your card on and off. So if you know you're not going to be doing any spending, go ahead and turn your card off temporarily. If you lose that card, turn it off, just to protect yourself from anyone who may could get your information.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that is really important just to utilize that debit card control feature that we have in the app. It's really convenient. Just, if you happen to lose your wallet or you accidentally leave your debit card at a restaurant when you're eating, just go ahead and turn it off until you get that card back in your hands. And if you never get it back into your hands, at least it was turned off and people can't utilize that to make fraudulent charges. And I really also liked when you said, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. I know that that's funny, but it really is true. We see so many ads, especially on social media. People are on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on Twitter, and a lot of times ads will pop up, and it's like, scroll up to buy now. And like you said, if it's an item that is usually, $300 and it's on sale for $20, chances are that's probably too good to be true. And the item that you think you're ordering, you might get a completely different item. You might never even receive an item, but what you're doing is you're opening up an opportunity for those people to get your financial information, and then they can start using that to make fraudulent charges on your account.
Yeah.
And, we talk about monitoring our account. That's such a simple thing to do, but it really is important. Lionyelle, can you just expand on that and talk about the importance of just checking your checking account, checking your credit card statement if you have an H's credit card, just monitoring those charges day to day?
So yes, of course. One of the most important things is, and I mentioned earlier, is as you're going throughout this holiday season and you're making those extra purchases, just keep in mind that those purchases could take a couple days to actually post to your account. Sometimes we do have issues with members that come in and say, hey, I know I went here, but that was like 4 days ago. I don't think this is mine. So just keep in mind that sometimes those charges do take a few days to post. But also, like I mentioned earlier, that fraudster charges could kind of be linked into yours. So that's why you want to definitely make sure that you're monitoring it. You can do that with your debit card or your credit card. Be mindful that smaller merchants, smaller businesses that use Square, they may not have their actual name on it. It may be under another, like their company name. It may not be the place where you shopped at. So you may just want to ask when you make that purchase, hey, will this show up as this boutique or this bakery, or will it show up as something else?
Oh, that really is good to know, because I know that a lot of smaller businesses do use the Square Pay now, to where you can
Mhm.
use your debit and credit card. And then also, just the being mindful of purchases, like you were saying, sometimes those transactions can get lost in our own transactions. I know, like Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, you're going from website to website or store to store, and you're making multiple transactions one after another. So it is really important to comb through those transactions during the holiday
Mhm.
season, because that's true. You can have a fraudulent charge on your account that is hidden in the 7 or 8 charges that you had that day while you were out shopping. So that's really great. That's great information. Thank you, Lionyelle. We had quite a few really good questions come in. If we have
Okay,
time, I'd like to read some of those off to you, just so you
sure.
can answer them for our membership. The
Yeah.
first one says, I prefer to order all of my gifts online. Are there certain types of websites I should avoid?
Okay. Just to kind of go back to what I mentioned earlier, um, and what you mentioned also about the social media, about the swiping up, that's a lot on Instagram and TikTok right now. Any websites or adverts that you see on social media, instead of clicking on that link, type in the web address yourself. Um, because like I said, spelling. Make sure when you go to a website that you're going to the website with the correct spelling for the web address, and that everything on that website is spelled correctly as well. Spelling or poor grammar can show sometimes lead to fraudulent websites, fraudulent things, scammers, things like that. So you want to definitely check on spelling and grammar, and overall, just kind of scope out the website. Once again, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. And I know we all want that really good deal so we can tell all of our friends about it, but sometimes that good deal turns into a lot of bad stuff behind it.
Yeah, and just tagging on what you said about just scoping the website out in general, you know, a lot of companies, their websites are very eloquently put together. They look
Mhm.
really good from a marketing standpoint. And I personally feel that you can tell a lot of times if you're on a website that's not legit. It really is kind of easy to tell when you're on an actual company's website versus when you're on a fake website that's trying to pertain your financial information. So I agree with that
Mhm.
completely. The next one that we got, it says, what action do I take if I notice a suspicious charge on my account that I don't recognize?
Okay, so first thing you want to do is go through and lock your card. Like we mentioned about debit card control, you have that option. That power is in your hands. You can be this first defense of protecting yourself from fraud. So go ahead and lock your card down first. If you have even an inkling of that maybe something may be wrong here, it's much better to go ahead and lock your card now and say, oh yeah, wait, I remember doing that. You could go ahead and unlock it afterward versus thinking, oh, maybe I did that and now it's kind of compiling on top of you, you know? The second thing was call the credit union if it's in working hours. We are here to help you. We will be happy and pleased to help you. Answer any questions, just talk through any confusion that you may have. We're here to help you in any way that we can. If it is not working hours, then we do have two numbers, one for our debit card and one for our credit card that you can call. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Anytime that we're not open, they are there to help you kind of just comb through those charges, see if it's yours. If it's not, they can help go ahead and reduce the risk of more possible charges. If I can I give that number out?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So the debit card number. So this is for fraud that you may think is on your debit card. That number is 844-646-5444. So once again, for the debit card, it's 844-646-5444. If you are worried about your credit card, then this is the number for your credit card. It's 833-541-0763. Once again, for your credit card, it's 833 541-0763, and they'll be there to help you outside of our working hours.
Thank you for sharing those, Lionyelle. I hope everybody got a chance to write those down. And if you didn't, those are also listed on our website. So just go look at our website to get those numbers. And also, Lionyelle, I just wanted to tag on what you said about debit card control and also just monitoring your credit card. Both of those options are in your Neches app. They're really easy to access. If you go all the way to the right on your mobile banking, there's another tab that says Other, and it'll bring you to a whole list of different products and services and tools that we have on the app. And there's a debit card control tab where you can click on that and you can see every debit card that you have with Neches, and you can turn those on and off and set alerts as well, which is really good too. If you're okay with alerts coming to your phone, because those notify you every time a charge takes place. And then also within the credit card portion of the app, you can go look at all of the credit card statements that you have. And so I agree. I think that it's really good to comb through those, because you might very well have a fraudulent charge that pops up and you know that you didn't make that transaction, in which you would want to report that to us. That way we can help you get that solved. We had one more really good question. I know that we deal with this a lot, and we have measures that are in place to protect our members, to protect their financial information should we detect fraud. So I'd really like to read this one. It says, what if I get a fraud alert, but it was actually my transaction? I think that's a really good question.
That is a really good question. We do get that a lot. So the first thing that the kind of first line of defense is, we just started a premium text service. So you will get a text message about charges where you can verify them. Say, yes, this was me. No, this was not me. That's going to be the first thing. Secondly, if our fraud department calls, they will leave a voicemail with a case number. Make sure you get that case number. Make sure you utilize it. That's a great way to get your card unlocked, because at this point, it'll probably be locked at this point. So make sure you get that case number, and it'll help facilitate that process of trying to get your card unlocked and getting that privilege back. The third thing is know that our fraud department will never ask you for your social security number. Any login information to your home banking, we will never ask that of you. So if someone calls you and says, hey, I'm with the fraud department, we're Neches, we just need to verify what's your full social, or what's your login information, what's your username and password. We will never ask you for that information. We may ask for the last 4 digits of your social just to verify your identity, but never the full number. If that happens, immediately hang up. If it's with working hours with us, or as soon as you get a chance, give us a call and let us know about it, so we can make sure that your account is still protected.
Absolutely. Thank you for mentioning that. And, part of being a credit union member, you do have that very close relationship with us. We're a hometown credit union, and, we talk face to face with our members. That you can call us, and we have a live receptionist that answers, so that you will always be able to talk to a physical person here. And 9 times out of 10, if you're a member of Neches, you have built up a relationship with at least one employee here at the credit union. So I agree with that completely. If you get a phone call and it seems like it's suspicious, it seems like it doesn't seem like it's a Neches employee that you're talking to, you feel like they're asking a lot of personal information, please be cautious of that. And like Lionyelle said, just immediately hang up and call our credit union number, call our direct line, or if you have an employee that you're close to, call that employee directly. That way we can make sure that, everything's okay on your account, because we would hate for you to give any personal information to somebody who is calling and posing as a Neches Federal Credit Union employee, but actually isn't one. And believe me, these scammers, they have gotten very, very smart, and unfortunately, they do have access to a lot of our information now with smartphones and just technology in general. So, they very well might know that, you are a Neches member, or you do shop at this place, so they know a lot about you, and they can make it seem like, they're legit when really they're just trying to get your financial information. And thank you for mentioning about the new premium texting tool, because I really think that that is such a great tool that we are offering to our members. Just to piggyback on what Lionyelle said, basically now if we suspect fraudulent activity on your account, you will get a text message to your phone, and it will say, we think that this was fraudulent activity. Can you please verify this charge? And it's a simple text back to that text message saying, yes or no, that was my charge, and then you can go about your day. I know a lot of times when people get calls from our actual fraud center, it does look like it might be an unknown number on their phone, or a lot of times, people just don't have their phone on them. And so they miss the phone call and then they leave a voicemail. And like you said, at that point, if the fraud department did call and you missed the call and they left you a voicemail, just for safety precautions, they would block your card until you verified that was your charge. So I really think that this premium texting tool is going to be very good for our members. I hope that they find it as convenient as we have found it.
Yeah. So obviously that also kind of brings up the importance of having the correct information on your account. Because if we don't have updated information, your updated telephone number, that's going to, create another problem, and it'll be even harder to get in contact with you to help prevent that possible fraud on there. So just make sure also that we have your correct information on file.
Absolutely. That's really good. Yeah. If you have gotten a new phone number recently or you've changed addresses, I know that, with those types of changes, there's so many things to think about that a lot of times you can forget one or two places to update that information. So if you have had any major changes like that, please be sure to update those changes with the credit union so that we know how to get in touch with you anytime we need to do so. Well, Lionyelle, do you have anything else that you would like to add? I think that you've given so much great information today.
I just kind of want to touch again on just making sure that you are looking very closely at what you're doing. Just making sure that you guard your information, be very careful with that information. And if something seems too good to be true, or if you didn't ask for that service to be done, a loan or an email, text message, anything like that, pretty much just kind of stop there and just stop and think about this and see, find another way of going about it. Just protect yourself.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Lionyelle, and for educating our members today. And thank you to everyone who attended today. We hope that it was very informative for you. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to us. You can call the credit union and ask to speak to somebody in the fraud department, and they can further educate you. We also have those numbers on our website. We also have a web contact form. If there's anything specifically on there that you would like to ask, put that on there and we'll definitely reach back out to you. And then also, I would just like to reiterate what Lionyelle has said throughout this webinar. Just utilize those debit card control and the premium texting tools that we've provided for you. If you have any questions on how to set up debit card control, give us a call or come visit us at any of our locations, and a member service representative would be happy to walk you through that. Well, thank you everyone for joining. We hope that you have a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season, and we will see you next time. Have a great day.
Happy holidays, guys.
Bye.
Bye.